This is Dr. Pietro Aparicio from 72 Dragons Health. March is Women's History Month, and we're very excited to highlight the life and work of Isabel Allende. She is a well-known writer all over the world for the amazing book she's written. The most famous and first book, The House of the Spirit, that later became film, a very famous film with great actors. HBO Max is developing or working on an initiative called Palante. Palante is a Spanish word. Actually, the full word is para delante, which means moving forward. Palante is an initiative that HBO Max is doing with the intention to increase the representation of Latinos in film and TV. And Isabel is a new production by HBO Max, and it's about the life of Isabel Allende. The series has 3 episodes. The first episode is The Cost of Liberty. This is Isabel as a happy mother and wife when she was very young. She married when she was about 20. And she thought that, the house where she lived with her husband and 2 children, that was going to be her whole life. She became a feminist, a journalist in Chile, and she became well-known because of the articles in the magazine. She, from her early career and from her early work, she was an agent of change for women's rights and for gender equality. The episode number 2 is called The Devil in the Mirror. This episode touched on the life of Isabel Allende when she left Chile because of the military dictatorship by Pinochet. So many in Chile left, including Isabel Allende. She moved to Venezuela, where she spent large part of her life, and was in Venezuela when she wrote The House of the Spirit. And actually, the book started as a letter to her grandfather, who very much represent Esteban, the character in The House of the Spirit, and the Clara character represent her grandmother. So she said that it wasn't very difficult to develop the characters because she very much thought particularly about her grandmother. And the book started actually as a letter to her grandfather because her grandfather was very sick. The third episode is The Spirit. The Spirit is about the life of Isabel Allende when she was a successful woman, a successful writer, and the death of her daughter, Paola, and she died from a liver disorder. This was devastated for Isabel Allende. So the HBO Max Isabel is a great story trying to represent the life of Isabel Allende, again as part of the initiative Palante. The intention is to provide a voice for Latinos in the TV and film industry. The book, The House of the Spirit, was written in 1982, and the movie, The House of the Spirit, came out in 1993. There were great actors like Jeremy Irons, Meryl Streep, Winona Ryder, Conchita Alonso, Glenn Close, and Antonio Banderas. The movie and the book are amazing. I read the book both in English and Spanish, and I had to say that I enjoy it mostly in Spanish. Her style is realismo mágico, magic realism, which was very much the style too of Gabriel Garcia Marquez with his book 100 Years of Solitude, Cien Años de Soledad, which I also read in English and Spanish, and I just enjoy it so much more when I read it in Spanish, probably because of the magic realism. I kind of identified much more because I've heard similar stories growing up in Honduras from my mother and my relatives. So Realismo Mágico was very easy for me to understand and to identify and feel. So we're talking about Isabel Allende today because besides being a great writer, she was also an agent of change, as I said, for women's rights and gender equality. Women's rights and gender equality are key for great health, for good health, for public health. If there's no gender equality, if the rights of women are not respected, it would be very hard for a community to be healthy. So gender equality is very important and is basic for good public health. Thank you.